The Lodge at Mirror Lake. Chapter 1. The Birthday Drop-Off. The tires of the black Escalade crunched over frostbitten gravel as my son, Bradley Reed Jr., eased to a stop in front of the sagging lodge. It was November 6, my 67th birthday, and the Michigan air bit like a junkyard dog. Bradley didn't kill the engine. "This is it, Mom," he said, voice flat as the frozen lake behind the house. "Your new place. Fresh hair. No stress. Doctor's orders." He popped the trunk. My single suitcase, packed by his wife, Marissa, sat beside 2 grocery bags and a prepaid flip phone. No charger. I stared at the lodge, peeling green paint, one shutter hanging by a single hinge, a porch swing frozen mid-creek. The sign above the door read, Mirror Lake Lodge, established 1958. The E in Lake had surrendered years ago. "Bradley," my voice cracked like thin ice, "this isn't a vacation rental." "It's yours now," he said, avoiding my eyes. "Title's in your name. We closed last week. Marissa found it online. Foreclosure steal. You always said you wanted quiet." He hauled the suitcase to the porch, set the grocery bags beside it, and pressed the flip phone into my gloved hand. "Signal spotty, but there's a landline inside. We'll call in a few days. Love you." The Escalade reversed, taillights shrinking down the Pine Line Drive until only the smell of exhaust and betrayal lingered. I was alone. 67 years old, widowed, penniless, or so they thought, dumped like a broken appliance in the Upper Peninsula in November. I dragged the suitcase over the threshold. The door stuck, then gave with a groan. Inside smelled of mildew, mouse nests, and decades of campfire smoke baked into pine walls. Moonlight through grimy windows revealed a stone hearth, a sagging plaid sofa, and a kitchenette with a hot plate and a fridge that hummed like a dying bee. The letter read, "Dearest Evelyn, if you're reading this, Jake's done right by me. The lodge is yours now, free and clear. Paid off the mortgage with the insurance from Dad's accident. The land, the buildings, the mineral rights, everything. I always knew you'd come back to the lake. Some things are meant to be. Tell my stubborn son to stop living like a monk and use the trust for something that matters. Love always, Maggie." I looked up. Jake was staring into the fire. "She left me the caretaker's cottage in a trust," he said quietly. $2 million. Invested. Never touched it. Figured I'd die here alone fixing leaks for rich folks from Chicago." I turned to the deed. Mirror Lake Lodge. 42 acres. Waterfront. Mineral rights included. Appraised value, $1.8 million. My hands shook. "Jake, this is mine." "Yours. Maggie changed the will after your husband died. Said you deserved a place that remembered who you were before you became Mrs. Reed." I laughed, then really laughed, for the first time in years. The sound startled a mouse in the wall. Chapter 3. The Hidden Vault. The next morning, Jake showed me the lodge's secrets. Behind the pantry was a false wall. He pressed a knot in the pine, and it swung open to reveal a steel door with a combination lock. Grandpa was a bootlegger during Prohibition, hid the good stuff here. Maggie used it for valuables. The combination. My birthday. 11/06/58. Inside, ledgers, stock certificates, a velvet pouch heavy with gold coins, and a flash drive labeled For Evelyn M. We plugged it into Jake's ancient laptop. Files, offshore accounts in my name, Cayman Islands, $750,000. A trust document naming me beneficiary of Maggie's art collection, 3 original Norman Rockwells stored in climate control in Grand Rapids. A video. Maggie, frail but sharp, in a hospital bed. Evie, if Bradley's kids are anything like their father, they'll try to bleed you dry. This is your parachute. The lodge, the money, the art, it's all yours. Jake knows where everything is. Trust him. He never stopped loving you, and tell him to shave that damn beard. The video ended. Jake's eyes were wet. I closed the laptop. She planned this. Down to the last nail, he said. Chapter 4. The Counterattack. I hired Dolores Katz, a shark of an attorney from Detroit who'd made her name suing nursing homes. She flew up in a helicopter, took one look at the lodge, and grinned. Darlin', we're not just saving your ass, we're ruining theirs. Step 1. Freeze everything. I called my bank, the same one that held the fraudulent mortgage. Mr. Park, the manager, remembered me from Bradley Sr.'s accounts. But in an hour, all accounts tied to my Social Security were locked. Bradley Jr.'s cards declined. Step 2. Expose the fraud. Dolores filed an emergency injunction. The mortgage was signed during my hospital stay for pneumonia while I was on a ventilator. Forgery. Step 3. Turn the tables. The condo in Ann Arbor? Bradley Sr. had put it in a trust for me. Only me. Bradley Jr. had no claim. We evicted them. But the masterstroke, the mineral rights. Jake's grandfather had leased them to a mining company in the 1940s. The lease expired in 2023. A new survey showed lithium beneath Mirror Lake, enough for electric car batteries. Tesla was bidding. Current offer? $12 million. Chapter 5. The Reckoning. They came on a Sunday. Bradley, Marissa, and a social worker named Karen with a clipboard. We're here to check on Mom's welfare, Bradley announced to Jake, who met them at the gate with a shotgun across his arm, unloaded, but they didn't know. I stepped onto the porch in a flannel shirt and jeans, hair in a braid, holding a mug that said World's Okayest Mom, a gift from the contractors. Bradley, you're trespassing. Marissa's eyes darted to the new roof, the satellite dish, the Tesla charger by the garage. This is ours, she stammered. You can't. Actually, Dolores said, emerging from the lodge with a stack of documents. It's not, and neither is the condo, or the $420,000 you stole. The DA's office is very interested in your signature forgery, Marissa, especially since you notarized it yourself. Bradley went white. Mom, we can explain. You can explain to the judge. The social worker tried to intervene. Mrs. Reed, are you being coerced? I smiled. Only by my own good sense. Jake, show them the video. We played Maggie's message on the big screen in the lodge's new great room, renovated with trust funds. Bradley's face crumpled when his grandmother called him a disappointment in loafers. They laughed in tears. Chapter 6. The New Mirror Lake. Spring came early. The lodge gleamed white pine floors, a chef's kitchen, a sunroom overlooking the lake. I hired local kids to clear trails, stock the dock with kayaks. Jake moved into the master suite. We got married on the dock at sunset, barefoot, with Uncle Curtis, the county clerk, officiating. I wore a simple lace dress. Jake finally shaved. The lithium deal closed. $12 million in escrow. I started a foundation, the Maggie Callahan Women's Refuge, cabins for abused mothers, scholarships for girls who code. Bradley and Marissa? Bankruptcy. Marissa's interior design firm folded. Bradley took a job selling used cars in Flint. They send Christmas cards. I don't open them. Chapter 7. The Quiet Victory. Tonight, I'm 68. I sit on the dock with Jake, feet in the water, watching loons dive. The lodge lights glow behind us, warm, alive. A text from Dolores. Tesla wants to name the mine after you. Evelyn's vein. I laugh until I cry. Jake hands me a small box. Inside, a silver locket with a photo of us from 1977, arms around each other at the county fair. He says, "Found it in Maggie's things. She kept it all these years." I clasp it around my neck. The water mirrors the stars. For the first time in my life, the reflection looking back is mine. Not a mother, not a wife, not a burden. Just Evelyn. And that's enough.